What if the most common advice for new photographers is secretly the biggest reason that their businesses fail? We've all heard it. When you're just starting, set your prices low. Be the affordable option to get people in the door. It sounds so logical, right? A safe way to build your portfolio and get your name out there. But this advice is a trap. It's a fast track to burnout. You're going to be attracting some clients from hell, and ultimately, you're going to be dealing with your business closed down. Some studies show that 60% of photography businesses fail in their first year, with a shocking 85% not making it past year 3. And the main reason, it's not a lack of talent, it's a weak business strategy, starting with the biggest mistake of all, pricing. You're told to be cheap to compete, but what if being cheap guarantees that you're gonna lose? What if being the affordable photographer is the most expensive mistake that you could possibly make? Stick around, because we're about to tear that myth apart. I'm gonna show you why competing on price is a race to the absolute bottom, and how you can build a thriving business by doing the exact opposite. The biggest problem is the affordable lie that we've all been told. When you first decide to go pro, the world of photography looks incredibly crowded. It feels like everybody with a shiny new camera is suddenly a photographer. So how do you stand out? The advice from forums, blogs, and even your well-meaning friends is always the same. Lower your prices. They'll say, it's temporary, just build your portfolio. They'll tell you, big clients will come later. This is a classic business strategy, but in a creative field, it feels like the only tool that you have when you don't have a long client list or a gallery of award-winning shots. You've got a little imposter syndrome whispering in your ear, and you're scared to charge what you hope you're worth. But when you price low, you're not just making yourself accessible, you're signaling that your work is not very valuable. So you set your mini session price so low, it barely covers your gas. You offer a wedding package that works out to less than minimum wage. And sure, the clients, they'll definitely roll in, but they're not the clients that you were dreaming of. Here's the fundamental mistake. You're thinking that a full calendar equals a successful business. They're not the same thing. You're not just an artist, you're running a business, and businesses need to be profitable to survive. Without knowing your real costs, affordable is just another word for going broke slowly. There's a downward spiral of a bargain bin brand. Once you've been slapped the cheap label on your work, you set off a pretty nasty chain reaction. First, you attract the wrong clients. The person who picks their photographer based on price alone, they're not investing in your photography, your work, your vision. They're buying a commodity. They don't value you. And because of that, it's almost impossible for you to believe in yourself. These are the clients who will haggle over every last dollar, demand things that weren't in the contract, and have no clue how much effort goes into what you do. They have zero loyalty. The second someone cheaper comes along, they're gone. This leads straight to burnout. Because your prices are so rock bottom, you have to take on a crushing number of jobs just to stay afloat. And let's be real, most of a photographer's time isn't spent taking photos. It's marketing, it's emails, it's editing, it's bookkeeping, it's all the other admin stuff that sucks the life out of you. When you're trapped in this high volume, low profit cycle, your passion starts to feel like a prison. Statistics suggest that over 80% of photography businesses that fail in their first couple of years, they fail because they simply aren't profitable. You're working harder than ever, but you're not actually making any money. And finally, you've painted yourself into a corner. It is, as always easier to lower your prices than it is to raise them. When you start at the bottom, you create an expectation. Your first clients refer their friends who are also looking for a cheap deal. Trying to raise your rates later feels like you're betraying them. And it's terrifying to jump into a market that you haven't prepared for. You've built a brand, all right, sure, but it's a bargain bin brand. And you're stuck at the bottom rung of the ladder where the fight is bloody and the prize is pennies. If any of this is hitting a little bit too close to home and you're feeling that burnout, let me know in the comments. What's the worst piece of pricing advice that you've ever got? Sharing these horror stories in my comments helps everybody who watches me. There is a path to profit and passion. How do you get out of that trap? Or even better, how do you avoid it in the first place? Well, you have to start competing on price and start competing on value. This isn't some fluffy feel-good phrase. It's a core business strategy. Photography is a luxury service. It's a luxury service. So even when the money's tight, there's clients who will gladly pay you for a quality experience that they can't get anywhere else. And here's the blueprint. Here's the blueprint to build a business that actually lasts. First, know your numbers. Seriously, this isn't negotiable. So many photographers have no idea what it costs to run their businesses. You need to calculate your cost of doing business, or your CODB. This is everything: your gear, your insurance, software, Creative Cloud, website hosting, gallery delivery, marketing, taxes. Most importantly, your own salary. Once you know what it costs to keep the lights on for a year, you can figure out how many clients you can realistically take on and what you must charge just to break even. Then add your profit margin. Profit's not a dirty word. It's what allows your business to grow. Second, define your ideal client and speak directly to them. Stop trying to be the photographer for everyone. A jack of all trades photographer is a master of none, and a brand that tries to please everyone attracts no one. So who do you love working with? High-end wedding clients, adventurous couples who want to elope on a mountain, commercial brands that need sharp modern imagery? Figure it out and then tailor every single piece of your business, your website, your Instagram, your emails to them. High-end clients aren't looking for cheap. They're looking for the best value and a photographer whose style they connect with. Your brand should scream, "I'm the perfect person for you." Third, price for the value that you provide, not the hours that you work. This is called value-based pricing. It's about what your work is worth according to the client. A wedding photographer isn't selling 8 hours of their time. They're preserving the memory of one of the most important days in a person's life. A brand photographer isn't just taking headshots. They're creating assets that's going to help another business make more money. When you frame it that way, the conversation shifts from how much does it cost to, is this worth the investment? Use a tiered package, a VIP, premium, and basic model. It's a classic psychological trick. When you show the high-end package first, the middle one suddenly looks like a great deal. You guide them to the sale that you want without ever having to offer a discount. Finally, building an unforgettable client experience. In a crowded market, your service is what truly sets you apart. This means having a smooth, professional process. It means clear communication, sending helpful guides, and delivering final photos in a way that feels like a gift. Every single interaction is a chance to show your client that they made the right choice. Happy clients become raving fans. They leave glowing reviews, and they give you the best kind of referrals, the ones that aren't based on you being cheap, but based on you being the absolute best. If you're ready to start pricing for profit and build a business that you actually love, make sure you subscribe and hit the noti bell. I'm gonna continue to drop videos on the business of photography, from marketing that works to client management that doesn't make you wanna pull your hair out. The business of photography is all I talk about. I'm a pro photographer, 35 years in. It's what I obsess about. So my problems are also your problems. Let's solve it together. The myth that you have to start cheap to succeed is one of the most destructive ideas in our industry. It ignores the simple truth that a photography business is a business, and success isn't about being the busiest photographer. It's about having the right clients who value your work and are happy to pay what you're worth. Building a profitable business takes confidence, a smart strategy, and a major shift in how you think. You have to understand that your talent is valuable and that you deserve to make a great living from your passion. Pricing isn't just about math, it's about mindset. When you set fair, profitable prices, you're not just saving your own business, you're helping raise the standards of the entire photography industry. I've released the exact system that I use to save my business. There's nobody sharing what I'm sharing here on YouTube for free. Just imagine what I include in my system. So please step out of the race to the bottom. Don't be the affordable photographer. Be the valuable one. And you know what? Because you made it to the end of this video, I've included my free 35-page pricing guide. Link in the description.